Hello, welcome to this week's NASCAR Quick Hit here at SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame on Discord, and tonight I'm going to be breaking down the Food City 500 taking place at the famous Bristol Motor Speedway. I forgot what track it was happening at there for a second. As always, please go ahead and hit that like button, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It really does go a long way in helping us with the YouTube algorithm. Before we break down the Food City 500 taking place at Bristol Motor Speedway, let me mention, of course, us, ShipItNation.com. If you have been living under a DFS rock, if you have not been paying attention at all, you may have missed that ShipIt Nation and SaberSim have joined forces and have provided you with the best content and the best optimizer in the industry. As you can see on your screen right now, there is a breakdown of all the different packages we have available currently. Personally, love the All Access Optimizer starter package, but that All Access Optimizer Ultimate package is also pretty awesome. Again, if you haven't already, you really do owe it to yourself to give us a shot over at ShipIt Nation with SaberSim. All right, let me switch back off of here. Oh. I am misclicking all over the place. That. Hey, we're back. All right. TV coverage this week for the NASCAR race is on Fox Sports 1 and in TSN 2 in Canada. Race coverage begins at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. This week, there are roughly 305 Dominator points available, and we will absolutely want to target in on those points. Make sure to head on over to the slate plan on ShipItNation.com for my final Dominator thoughts. This week, much like last week, the name of the game seems to be tires, as we have once again have extreme tire wear at Bristol, just like we had last spring at Bristol. In practice, the track absolutely destroyed tires. They were able to go roughly 40 to 50 laps on a set of tires, pretty much everybody. And the tires were absolutely destroyed coming off the car. So much so that it's hard for me to really fully trust what I see as far as the practice results go. There were so many, not accidents, but instances where I'm going to use Team Trackhouse for an example. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez specifically, cars, they were a handful in practice and in qualifying as well once we get there. And at one point, Bubba Wallace came up behind him with a full head of steam and almost had to come to a stop because Chastain was all over the place. So that not only impacted Ross Chastain's practice speed because, hello, Ross is driving a handful, but Bubba had to whoa up a whole bunch to not wreck. So, personally this week, I will be relying more on the track form and the recent form as opposed to the practice speeds. And you'll see what I mean by a couple of the outlier practice speeds as well. Also, before we break down the driver by driver starting lineup, I do want to mention that during qualifying, Kyle Busch had a self spin. Don't believe he got into the wall. However, he did spin out and ruin a set of tires. So he will be one less set of tires than everybody else on Sunday. And Joey Logano did get into the wall and only gave us a 38th, I believe, place starting spot. So old slice spread, Joey Logano will be the chalk of the field. All right, let me go ahead here and close these notes and open this up here, and let's go ahead and break down the starting lineup. Starting on the pole, Alex Bowman. Bowman got caught up in an accident here in 2022, but has been very solid other than that. He finished fourth here last year and has led a total of 37 laps. He was good in practice. I know I just said I'm not taking stock in too much of practice, and you'll see why when I talk about the next driver. But for good drivers in good cars like Alex Bowman, no issue with it. So starting on the pole, best starting position. He does have Larson and Hamlin starting right behind him, but is on the pole. So Bowman is worth a consideration on Sunday. Next up, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I in no way can recommend playing Stenhouse on Sunday. Yes, his practice speeds were fantastic. I don't believe them in the slightest. Yes, he was fast in qualifying. I don't believe that in the slightest. You have Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Gibbs, Bell. Like, he's going to lose spots, right? Like, there's no way Ricky Stenhouse is leading laps, dominating, etc. I would love to be proven wrong. I just don't see it happening. Ricky, you're out of the pool. Next up, Kyle Larson. Last time the Cup cars were at Bristol was the 2024 night race, and in that race, Larson led 462 laps. His other finishes, he had two fifth place finishes and a second. Play with confidence. Starting fourth, Denny Hamlin, 2 wins, 305 laps led, and a worst finish of ninth. Play with confidence. Just think, in the second row, you have what? 767 laps led. It's a lot of that's a lot of laps led. Starting fifth, Ryan Blaney. His C+ track rank here really sums it up for me. He did finish 6th here in the night race last summer, but then 16th in the spring, and then a 22nd and a 30th. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be surprised either way, right? If he wasn't starting directly behind Larson and Hamlin, I would be more apt into playing Blaney because I feel like Blaney will pass Bowman and Stenhouse eventually. But starting behind Larson and Hamlin, that's a tough one for me. Starting 6th, Ty Gibbs. Ty has finishes here of 35th and 15th and 5th and 9th. That's pretty good. And he has led a total of 239 laps. I'm not going to pretend that Ty Gibbs has had a good year. He hasn't. Look, his recent form is a D-. That's a Joe Gibbs car. That ain't good. Maybe Bristol was where he turns it around. I don't know. Starting 7th, Christopher Bell. He has a worst finish of 10th in the next-gen era and has led a total of 359 laps. Play with confidence. AJ Allmendinger is 8th, has made all 4 next-gen races here at Bristol with a... lost my place here. With a best finish of 7th back in 2022. His other finishes were a 223rd and a 30th, which is not so good. Dinger has been trending upwards this season, and probably is one of the cars I am willing to take a chance on. Because look, like cars like Ricky Stenhouse, I can't recommend playing. We're going to get to some other cars down here that I can't recommend. But Dinger at 6,600, I'll take the chance. I don't think he'll get lapped in stage 1, right? So that would be positive. Starting 9th. Let me see if I can move my notes over to this part of the screen. Oh, look at me go. So that way I'm not looking directly to the left the entire time. It only took me 40 some races to do this. All right. Starting 9th, Carson Hocevar. Only 3 starts for Hocevar at Bristol with a best finish of 11th. He should be a top 15 car if he can stay out of trouble. which has been kind of hard for him these past few weeks. Now, they really haven't been of his doing. He was kind of rubbing people the wrong way at the beginning of the season. That kind of seems like it's quieted down a little bit. So I'm not too worried about anybody extracting revenge on Hocevar. But yeah, he's had some issues on pit road. I think he's had a couple of mechanical failures. So if he can just dodge all of those things and keep out of trouble, top 15 for sure, maybe top 10. Probably not a victory, but would it surprise you to see Hocevar in the top 5 at the end of the day? I don't think so. Starting 10th, Justin Haley. Nothing to write home about Justin Haley at Bristol. Now, as I mentioned many times this season, this is Haley's best opportunity at a racetrack because he's in the best equipment he's ever been in with the best crew chief he's ever been in. So I probably wouldn't play him in single entry or 20 max, but 150s, sure, take a shot. Next up, starting 11th, Josh Berry. Josh Berry is a short track racer in Penske prepared equipment. Play him. Starting 12th, Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon must have heard I've been talking shit, and he's decided he's going to outperform his previous performances. Ty has been much better than I thought he'd be. And kind of colleague racing as a whole has been way better than I thought they'd be. He only has 2 starts here, however, and I ran out of space here. He only has 2 starts here previously, and those resulted in a 33rd and a 26th. Look, do I think Ty Dillon will get you a top 10 finish tomorrow? No. He'll probably be somewhere in the 20s, which will lose you place differential from his 12th starting spot. But if this race gets wild with crazy tire wear, which we assume it will, with cars falling back and moving forward and cars getting into the wall, Ty's been good this year. He's not normally the scrub that you can automatically click off. So, not afraid to take a chance on old Ty Dillon on Sunday. Next up, Michael McDowell. Mike Mack has been fantastic at Bristol. However, he has no laps led. He does have 3 11th place finishes and a 6th back in 2023. He starts 13th. So, yeah, we can only assume he will finish between 11th and 6th on Sunday. Chase Briscoe, starting 14th, has had great runs at Bristol with Stuart Haas, and that really should continue, if not greatly improve, with the resources at Joe Gibbs Racing. Starting 15th, Kyle Busch. The days of Kyle Busch sweeping all 3 Bristol races are sadly so long ago and so long gone. It actually pains me to say this, but his best finish in the next gen era is 20th, which is pretty crappy for a driver as talented as Kyle Busch. RCR, however, has been trending upwards with their short track program, and Kyle Busch has not forgotten how to drive a race car. That said, he did self-spin in practice and will now have 1 less set of tires to run the event with versus everybody else. So he's a hard click for me on Sunday. Starting 16th is Bad Brad Keselowski. Can Bad Brad get his mojo back at Bristol? Maybe. He led 109 laps back here in 2022 with a best finish of 3rd, which came in this race last year. I'm not going to kid you. Keselowski's been slow as crap this season. He's been dreadful. But this should be a save tire type of race, which Keselowski should be able to do. He is a veteran. He's done this for a very long time. And he finished 3rd in this high tire wear situation here last year. So he hasn't really performed for us this season. but you can't ignore the fact that he could be in line for a decent bounce back day. He just has to do it. Starting 17th is Austin Dillon. Much like his RCR teammate Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon has not run well here. Best finish of 17th, worst of 31st. He's starting 17th. Do you really expect him to get you a top 10? This isn't Richmond, right? So I don't know. Probably a no-go for me. Actually, how much is he? Let me get out of the way here. Austin Dillon is 6,300. You know what? I might change my opinion on that. For 6,300, I'll probably click on Austin Dillon. Zane Smith, only 2 starts at Bristol, a 16th and a 36th last year. Probably going to be a fade. Starting 19th is someone I'm really looking forward to seeing how they perform on Sunday, and that is Xfinity driver Jesse Love. Jesse Love is making his first next-gen start, his first NASCAR Cup start, and I saw an article earlier today that Jesse Love ran over 2,000 laps in the simulator this week, not including the 2 500-lap Bristol races he ran on iRacing. So he should be prepared. He is excellent here in the Xfinity Series. Now, the Xfinity car and the Cup car, vastly different. The skill level of drivers he will be racing against, vastly different. And he's in a third RCR car, I believe. And in my opinion, that in it of itself is a hurdle to climb, right? I like the driver, though. So all that negative stuff, I do like the driver. 5,500. I guess you can consider RCR equipment top tier, or maybe like lower end of top tier, if that makes sense. So I think for 5,500, I think you take the chance. I think you play him. Do you play him in single entry? No. Do you play him in 3 max, 20 max? No. Do you play him in 150s? Yeah. I think you do. I think you do. Starting 20th, Chase Elliott. Worst finish of 8th with a best finish of 2nd. You can play old Chase Elliott with confidence, even though I don't like the dullard. Starting 21st, Austin Cindric. He finished 13th last year, which is by far his best finish. He was good in practice. He was in B practice. Wasn't great in qualifying. I don't mind that he hasn't been good here. I will take the place differential upside with the tire wear we expect to have. So I will be playing Austin Cindric on Sunday. Starting 22nd, Bubba Wallace. Bubba by far had his best Bristol race just last year in the night race, finishing third from an 11th place starting spot. So love Bubba starting 22nd. He's been trending upward this season. So I will be playing Bubba with confidence. 23rd, Daniel Suarez finished 31st here last summer and has been middle of the road. Other than that, he, along with his teammate Ross Chastain, were one of the examples I used earlier in the show for drivers being dreadful in practice. He was driving a handful. However, he did manage a 23rd place starting spot. Don't think I'm clicking on him, though. 24th, Christopher Buescher won here in 2022 and then has finishes of 4th, 7th, and 14th. Love Buescher on Sunday. Riley Herbst starting 25th, first start in the next gen at Bristol. He's cheap. He had good practice speeds. I think you play him based on that. However, it would not at all surprise me to see him finish somewhere in the 30s, right? Bristol is hard for anybody, especially a rookie making his first Cup start here. He's in for a long day. Now, does he have the equipment? Yes. Has he performed kind of okay this season for his price point? Yes. So, yeah. 26th, William Byron. Willie B was excellent here in 22 and 23. And then both races last year, he was terrible. He finished 35th and 17th last year. It's hard to fade Willie B ever, right? And especially long run practice speeds look good. But with those dominators up front, Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Bell, maybe this is the week you go under on Byron or fade completely. I could see either one being okay, or I could see it totally backfiring and him getting up to the lead and sticking up the show. that's the Willie B effect. Starting 27th, Tyler Reddick. Reddick has never found his groove at Bristol. Best finish was a 15th in the summer of 2023. Probably going to end up fading Reddick on Sunday. 28th, Eric Jones struggled here. Best finish of 20th, worst of 30th. I'm not sure where you play Eric Jones at anymore. I don't think it's here at Bristol, though. 29th, Ryan Preece. Look, he's been very surprising this season. Very, very surprising this season. And he has very good track history at Bristol. So 29th, good track history at Bristol, and one of the best forwards all season so far. Play Ryan Preece. I can't believe I'm saying it. Play Ryan Preece. 30th, Todd Gilliland. Gilly was dreadful here last year, and then he wasn't too good in practice either. So I will be fading one Gilliland on Sunday. Let me scroll down here. 31st, Noah Gregson finished 12th and 34th here last year, and then looked great in practice. Now, if he was starting in the top 15, I would probably say fade. But 31st, 6,900 with those practice speeds and with the tire fall off we think we're going to have, yeah, play Noah. Starting 32nd, John Hunter Nemechek finished 6th in this race last year and then 33rd in the summer race. He also had very good practice speeds. Do I think he will live up to those practice speeds? No. Do I think you should play him? Yes. Cole Custer starting 33rd, only one next-gen start, which was back in 2022, and he did finish 8th. I am not taking the chance on Cole Custer on Sunday. I just need him to prove it, right? Like, his practice speeds in the middle weren't terrible, but then his 15 and 20 weren't good. Yeah, I just don't see him doing much on Sunday. 34th, Cody Ware. He only has one start here, and in that one start, he somehow managed a 17th. That was all the way back in 2022, however. So I think I got to fade Cody Ware. 35th, Ross Chastain. Very, very average for Ross with a best finish of 6th back in 2022. His practice speeds were not good. He was absolutely driving a handful in practice. I don't. He's in great equipment. He's a great driver. Can the team turn it around? Yes. Is he in for a long day? Also, yes. Starting 36, Shane Van Gisbergen. I love SVG pretty much everywhere, all the time. But first start and the next gen at Bristol, no. That's a fade from me, dog. Starting 37th, Corey LaJoy. Finishes up 36th, 21st, 25th, and 15th. And now he's in a crappier ride than before. fade. Starting 38th, Joey Logano. Old sliced bread has been surprisingly awful here in the next gen era, with best finishes of 22nd and a worst finish of 34th. He messed up his qualifying run and got into the wall, and because of that gave him his 38th place starting spot. Because of this, he will see a lot of ownership tomorrow. A lot. However, like I mentioned, his best finish was a 22nd and his worst finish was a 34th. So, if you think he ain't going to do any better than that, is he worth playing? Probably not. But it is Joey Logano, and he was really good in practice, even though his previous finishes here have not been the best. So I do think you have to play him, but how much you play him, that's up to you. And then starting dead last is one Josh Bilicki. He finished 34th here last year. The car is garbage. What are we doing? Don't play Josh Bilicki. And that is all I have for the Food Cities. That's what it is, right? Yes, the Food City 500. As always, if you have any other questions concerning the slate, please feel free to tag me on Discord. And as always, let's ship it.